to speak on something that I just can't quite understand when it comes to the religious, the Bible thumpers, people like Christians, things of that nature. You know, the people who would take the Bible literally. Now, you could put me in that category. There are things I take literally from the Bible. I don't knock certain people, you're raised in a certain faith, things of that nature. I have my reasons. But there are certain things that I don't know if it's willful. Well, I can't ask that. Like, if I have my idea why. So, yeah, people are just ignorant to this, right? Um, when it comes to the true earth, okay? Like, the Bible has so many, you know, truths thrown in there. So many claims and descriptions of the world around us. There are words that are there are words that are translated that you can double check from the original meaning and apply it here. So there's no, because there's plenty of words that you're like, no, that could mean anything else. Stop playing, right? But when it comes to the description of the realm we live in, it's pretty straightforward. Okay, but I guess the indoctrination is so strong. That hold is so strong, that they can't even they refuse to even use the religious now. They refuse to even use the proof. They would love to pull this up to argue or prove something or this, that, and the other for a whole bunch of topics. But when it comes to what we live on, you know, they will allow that programming to seep through and be like, oh no, that's nonsense, right? But at the same time, these are the people that will believe in dinosaurs. So it's strange, isn't it? Right? Like starting from the first book, starting from Genesis, separating the waters from the waters, right? That alone just tells you, okay, how can you can't be talking like I made this example before. If you just start life with a clean slate, and let's say at the age of comprehension, you pick up the book, the good book, and you read that line, you're like, outside of the perception you already had growing up, you read that, automatically you have the understanding that, yeah, probably this is what happened, right? Separated the waters from waters. You would imagine, okay, there was water below, and then it was separated and brought on top. Then that'll make you think, is that why it's blue up there? Is that why it looks like liquid? Is that why the stars glimmer like that? That's what will run through your mind. It makes sense immediately. There's no maneuvering through that. But with indoctrination and being told what this is before you could discover it yourself, figure it out yourself, because we start off at a young age as to what this world is. So with the indoctrination, you're gonna find ways to poke holes in the truth that you don't need to poke holes in. But remember, you didn't even try to poke holes into what was being taught to you because you have an authority telling you this, right? You have textbooks and things of that nature. Math you can't even understand, and when you do understand it, it will always equal to what they're trying to prove, as if math can't be manipulated in that way. You just need the right equation. You just need the right values. You just need, everything could be set to a certain way, proper measurements. It's easy. You can manipulate it, right? And that's kind of difficult to get around. That's why you always need that tangible proof on top of the numbers, because math can be used to correctly calculate things that are true or things that are made up. Because, when you have scenarios brought up in a textbook, some things you're like, that's not possible, but it makes sense. So and all you focus on is getting the right solution to the problem, right? So you got that. The scenarios just to put something in your head so you understand how you get to that to solve the problem. Okay, that's where you need that extra proof. That's where you need the tangible evidence, because you have your five senses. You can see what's going on. You can feel what's going on. You could look. We have we have the means to test these things. All that rambling, I'm like, it just, based on what I just said, it just reminded me, this is what I wanted to say in the beginning of this. My plan was to start this video with why I'm choosing this subject for today. So at the time of this recording, it's the full moon, and it's supposed to be a blood moon tonight. So I have a telescope, so I will be checking it out tonight. So I thought it would be fitting. Anyway, moving on. So yeah, my question is for like the religious. Like, why is this so far fetched? I mean, the things we believe in the talking snake in the Garden of Eden. I don't believe in a talking snake. Really, I understand, because there are words that are translated and things of that nature. So you could just assume by snake you mean, okay, what deity or this and the other. I'm not going to break that down. There's plenty of time for that in other videos. And, with all my research, I have a lot of the stuff down pat. I'm just trying to build a proper context here as to why people could believe one thing. Because there are people that believe there was like a slithering snake actually talking to Eve, right? And I'm like, if that's so easy for you to believe, literally, why is what you live on so far-fetched? Because the fact of the matter is, a level earth confirms God. When you have a sphere, a ball, you could say this is, especially when a certain Jesuit priest brought the whole Big Bang thing into this, you could either go the scientism way, which is, oh, this is an accident. This is like a spontaneous explosion that created everything, and now we're conscientious beings, right? But with evolution and all that, now you can just step away from God, or you could still believe in God and still believe in the ball, But one confirms him, and if you're all about him, if you're all about the creator, why would you poo-poo this? Why would you deny it? Why would you call people like me or anyone speaking on this subject crazy? Right? So I'm going to play a video I found. I guess it's a round of TikToks. I don't have TikTok, by the way. I don't trust that. But they're allowing these things to go through. Must be escaping the algorithm, or they probably think this is crazy as well. And they think they think that the flat earthers are digging themselves a hole. So it could be either one. But I'm glad to see it. Here we go.
Which is the shape of the earth. So let's make something clear. A circle is not a sphere, because everyone that believes in the globe model loves using Isaiah 40:22. It is he that sitteth upon the circle of the earth. The circle, not a sphere, looking something like this. And in Job 38:14, he is referring to the earth when he says it is turned as clay to the seal. And according to Genesis 11:9, Genesis 41:56, Exodus 33:16, Job 37:12, the earth has a face. Globe can't have a face. And then, of course, there's going to be clowns saying, well, why haven't no one fell off the face of the earth? This is why. The Arctic wall. And all these verses right here tells you that there's an end of the earth. But you can't fall off of it because of this.
Now pay attention as we turn the flat earth map into a globe. Pay attention to the continents. They are still positioned north, east, west, and south. And take a look at the ice wall. What's it become when you turn it into a ball? It becomes the Antarctica.
So what's funny about this is when you go to things like Google Maps and you scroll down to when you rotate the earth and you go to Antarctica, it looks so stitched up. Like if you really look at it, it looks so stitched together. So this is why I believe that when they tell you what the flat earth is, when they tell you what the flat earth map is, they tell you it's this, but it's in reverse. No, it's not. This is what they did. They started with the flat earth map, and then they turned it into a ball. They folded it around on a ball. Just check out the map yourself. Just go Google Maps and go to the bottom, and then that's what you'll see. Interesting.
And if you'll notice, it's south of all the continents, just like the ice wall is south of all the continents on the flat earth map. And therefore, you cannot tell the difference. The only reason that you believe what you believe is because that's what you have been taught to believe without questioning it.
Heck,
Told. We're talking about things we've been told. Remember this, because we were told this, right? First, we were taught this, but then again, if you're pushing this, if you're pushing the Bible, if you're pushing the Word of God, your deity, right? Our deity, why is His word less than what a teacher tells you when there's a plethora of proof that this was orchestrated? Plethora of them. We know who created this model. We know who started this. It was the Romans. We know this. Check it out. If you don't know, now you know. And if you want to confirm, look up some real history, yo. Look up history. They started heliocentrism. They started it. What during the time, after the time, it was agreed upon on what this realm actually looks like.
even NASA tells you that the Earth is flat, and the UN uses the flat Earth map. The truth has always been hidden in plain sight. Do your research, take a screenshot of this, and meet me for part 2. God bless. Flat Earth is more biblical than your religion, part 2. And God made the firmament and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament. So let's get into the details. So if you're not clear on what the flat Earth model is, it isn't this. A race.
Yep, like I said before, this is psyop shit. This is what they want you to think if somebody ever brings this up. First thing people will say is like, how do you think you live in a pancake in space? Who thinks that? I said in my video before that this is what turned me away, because it all made sense. What they said will make sense. But when they showed this model, I'm like, no, how? No, now I got to go back. Like you are going to go back to the ball if this is what's introduced to you. Like you could be open-minded all you want. Then when they start showing you this shit, you're like, no. Fuck, you guys are insane. And that was my reaction.
This from your mind if you think it looks like this. So-called space, planets, which are actually wandering stars, the moon, the sun, everything is inside the firmament. Genesis 1:14, and the Most High said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven. So yes, the sun, the moon, the planets, nothing's light years away. Everything is local.
Like I say, yo, I would like to know, because this goes to psychics too, if you guys even come across this video. Which one makes more sense? Talking to the psychics out there that likes to do readings and charts and stuff like that. You understand energy. You understand how it works. Which one makes more sense to you? Celestial bodies that are here within the firmament, having a direct effect on every person on this earth, whichever planet you were born under, whatever planet's in rotation at this moment that will affect you depending on your signs and things of that nature. This makes more sense if it's directly above you and having a direct effect upon you, because remember, we are electrical beings on this earth, right? There is water above. There are well, I can't say spheres. There's energetic lights above there, electrical. Having a direct, if there's a certain frequency or vibration, it will resonate with you if you're born under that. Doesn't that make more sense? Under a perfect clock where it rotates and you could time this stuff. You could check your chart. You could go back and pinpoint when this, and I'm sure plenty of people have gone to horoscope websites and typed in the date, and you know exactly where the stars aligned, right? But how can you mentally fathom that? Can you imagine that in your head if it's planetoid spheres in the sky billions and trillions of miles away? Can you do that? Does it make sense from that far distance? It affects a planet that's an accident. What effect does this planet have on another planet if that's the case? Let's say this whole thing was true and there are lives on other planets. Does this planet we're supposed to be special, right? Religious people who believe in these other planets and other life forms on the other planets, who think God created other life forms on other planets, but we ain't important though. But I thought we were important according to your book. Right? How? What do we do? What do we have to do with other people then? Other life forms, billions and trillions of miles away. Okay, and how is it that by what they explain to us, what they show us, how far we're going and how fast we're going and things of that nature, how does that repeat? How can you feel this? How can you have certain days of feeling a certain way or there are days you're sick and things of that nature, and you check a chart and you realize, oh, this is actually in opposition to you, and this is why you feel this way. This is why things ain't working out for you during this month or this year, is because this body is in retrograde and things of that nature, right? How can that affect you from billions of miles away? How can you time that? It's supposed to be, because we're including stars here too. We're not just looking at, so how? And it's on repeat. The only ones moving on their own, doing their own thing, are the wandering stars. They all look the same up there, or the same caliber up there, just different colors or intensity and things of that nature. But you're not looking at balls in space. Look through a telescope and tell me you see something crisp and solid like they portray on NASA's site. You ever see that? You have the most expensive telescope ever. Look up there. Right? But you're going to trust something that you have to go pay for, that someone else built, and go to that like observatory and stuff like that and have to trust that that's what you're seeing. Then you could just check yourself but always see something different. Think about it.
The ancients didn't argue with what the dome looked like. All of their illustrations has it as a solid dome above the earth, so that can't be around a globe. Backing this up with more scripture in Isaiah 40:22, talking about the circle of the earth. It continues to talk about how the heavens, aka the firmament, is spread like a tent. A tent can't go around a globe. And yes, the sky looks like a dome with stars because it is. Going back on the waters above the firmament, this adds context to the great flood. In Genesis 7:11, it says the windows of the heaven were open and it started to rain for 40 days and 40 nights because there's water above the firmament that he was releasing. And he wasn't talking about this. This is why when you look through a telescope, everything in the heavens look like they're underwater. Flat Earth is more biblical than your religion, part 3. And God made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, which is our local sun inside the firmament. And the lesser, this is why when you look through a telescope, because there's water above the firmament that he was releasing. And he wasn't talking about this. This is why when you look through a telescope.
Okay. Let's see if I'm putting it the right way. This is how we see it through a telescope. That's how we see it. We're not. Tell me if you look through a telescope that you bought or physically look through, that's not, that you don't have to pay to look at or go to some facility to look at. Just a telescope you see. This is not what you see. That's what I see. That's always what I see, yo. So I'm like, make this make sense. It's the truth is before your eyes, and the Bible is confirming this. Okay, I'm not talking to any like agnostic or atheist out there. You know, you can skip this video. I'm talking to you, religious people, you so-called Christians, and whatever you may be of whatever faith, right? The books, because it's not just the Holy Bible, it's other books as well that say this. Why are you taking the word of man, of scientists who have something to monetarily gain from lying to you? Because think about it. If this is bullshit, you have to wonder. You have to ask, yo, what's NASA doing with that money if they're bullshitting you, right? What are they doing? Huh? And remember, we're sending money to other places we aren't even supposed to be involved in, when we have our own struggles here, right? With veterans and people who and the homeless and things of that nature, right? We're all covered. If that money that they're getting daily in the millions or billions, if they're getting that daily, imagine how sweet life will be for everyone, right? That alone should make you say, you know what? Let me look into this, yo. Let me not disregard this because it seems silly, because they've MK Ultra'd us into thinking this is a silly word, just like they did with conspiracy theory. But that word has meaning. Those words, conspiracy theory, has actual meaning. It means something. But they've given us they've MK Ultra'd us to another meaning crazy, tinfoil hat, things of that nature. But it means conspiracy, to conspire. And we're theorizing as to who and what are they doing. What are they? That's what it really means. But you hear this from these fools on the news and social media, and that's what you think, right? That's why I don't like using it. That's why it's hard for even me sometimes to struggle to say the words flat earth, because I'm like, I know what people are going to think right away, you know, but I know what it really means. It means level and, you know, not exactly flat, not pancake, like iron down flat, right? But that's what they have you thinking. We think a pancake in space. That's what you think of when you first hear it. But when you understand, no, flat means just laying down straight on the ground. Yeah, a level plane, flat, and earth, the name of our reality, our realm, the dirt beneath us. Okay, yeah, makes sense. Yeah. That makes sense than what they make you think the term means. Okay? And these things are told to you. These are fed to you. Whereas you have a book you can actually look up that, remember, you take literally, where the Most High is actually telling you what's going on, what it is. But you're taking the side of scientism over the religion you believe in. What's up?
Telescope, everything in the heavens look like they're underwater. Flat Earth is more biblical than your religion, part 3.
And that's another thing. Let me be clear as to what I believe. Like, yeah, I believe there is water above. That's what I believe. There's a firmament that's holding the water above. Simple as that. There's waters below. As above, so below. A lot of people believe that shit. I know all you, everyone that believes in the numbers and spirituality and metaphysical things and the crystals and all that, you guys believe this stuff, right? But this is far-fetched. That's what's mind-boggling about this whole topic here. This seems far-fetched, but you believe energy is coming from a crystal. You believe in chakra alignments. Right? Auras, energetic fields. You even believe that we're electrical beings. So why can't the earth be the same thing? Why can't this be the playing ground that we physical beings right now are traversing, right? Come on. Maybe I'll help you here. Okay, so, because I'm sure this came up in your head as I'm talking or as this video was going. When it comes to the angels, right, appearing on earth, right? Because what makes that easy to understand is what they fed you. Because remember shows like Ancient Aliens, they told you, like, oh, we were mistaking these angels. They're actual aliens that came from, no, backwards, upside down world. That's what they're feeding you. No. You see us? You see how we need a physical body to traverse this world? Why can't they? Why can't they? We don't know the setup. All we know is dirt. Like, that's how Adam was created. We don't know the first thing that was put together to make us. So why don't they have their own? Because the Bible said replenish the earth. How you replenish, and this is Genesis, how you replenish something that's new. So there had to be something before that we know not of, yo. Because how can Cain be afraid to go out to somewhere where he was supposed to be what, the first or second child in a world that only Adam and Eve lived in? So what's he afraid of if he has to go after killing him? Why did he need a mark? What's out there other than animals, other beings, right? That were already here? Maybe angelish beings or beings the angels created before us, before God said, you know what, I'll make my own man here. Because remember the first words of our image. So maybe that will help you comprehend where I'm going here. You know, how this ain't so far-fetched as they let you to believe. Okay. It's so simple because we use your eye. Like, look, I'm here. I'm a soul in a body. When I leave, I go through a whole nother way, a whole nother dimension or frequency or light. When it leaves, I'm sure people have near-death experiences. It's a whole nother thing, right? Why can that work for the angels who were depicted in the Bible, who walked among us, who were capable of creating giants by sleeping with the daughters of men? Doesn't that make sense? More than aliens coming from billions of miles away where we can't even say blink of an eye type of no, it only makes sense if it's all here. A few thousand miles up or a few thousand miles away. That makes more sense than billions and billions and billions of some random shit, but we happen to be in the Goldilocks zone. Come on, yo. Let's be careful here of what we believe these people tell us. Okay? Because I'm not here to... I know how this may come off, but sometimes, people, you just try thinking. Stop getting into the technical stuff. Stop getting into the math stuff. Let's think logically here, because you need that to do the math stuff, right? Let's think about what they told us, because none of this makes sense on a practical level. You can measure it and get it right all you want, but in a practical level, man. And I was, straight up, everybody who believes in this was you, because there's no one who missed this lesson in school growing up.
And God made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, which is our local sun inside the firmament, and the lesser light to rule the night, which is of course referring to the moon. The moon doesn't need the sun to go through its own phases. Let's clear this up from the very beginning. This is not the size of the sun compared to the earth. Obviously, that can't be possible if the sun fits inside the firmament, but in actuality, the sun and the moon are exactly the same size. Enoch 70.
I don't know about that. Could be, but I don't know about that. No one knows. Nobody can go up and touch it and see it, The moon, I believe, is, using the word believe, is a plasma projection based on what I've seen myself. Can't tangibly touch it. I'll go by what I've seen. Not what I was told, but what I can see, And it makes sense because I believe the sun is masculine and the moon is feminine, right? Luna, right? Things grow under the sun. You get an electrical charge from the sun. You feel vibrant. You can move. But under the moonlight, things are in reverse. They're in the negative, right? It takes. The sun gives, the moon takes. Men and women. The man gives the seed, the woman takes the seed. The moon correlates with the cycle of women, right? Every 28 days, every month. And that's how it moves in the sky. A sky clock. The sun is going at it goes by the hours. The moon goes by weeks and months. Days and hours, sun, moon, weeks and months. Who functions like that? Apply that to the human being, male and female. Who functions like this? Makes sense. The Bible's telling you this. But man, who we know not to trust, like every conspiracy theorist will tell you, even Bible deniers and shit, even atheists and agnostics will tell you, I don't believe in it because how could I trust that this book is real when it was written by man? You just said man, but you're believing everything else. You can use that against the Bible, but everything else is okay. You could trust these people because they're taught to you to be heroes, right? Okay.
And chapter 72 both vouch that they are the same size. Let's think about it. If the sun was this big and the earth is this big and the moon passed in front of the sun, it would look
Yeah, that was just a snippet. That was just an understanding based on what the good book says versus what's being told to us. Okay? The book tells us this. I personally, I don't believe, all right, full disclosure, I don't believe in the New Testament because the same people who created the New Testament are the same people who gave us that stupid model. I'm more of a Old Testament guy or Apocrypha guy, which includes the Old Testament and everything else that was removed from the books, because once they introduced the New Testament, everything became numbers oriented, and it started all of a sudden correlating with gematria, and I'm like, yo, this was done on purpose. That was in my last video, so I'll put that up if you haven't seen it yet. But yeah, this is all just Jesuit Roman shit that was added later to fuck with people's minds. The MK Ultra started a long time ago. They just did it a whole different way. Now it's easy with TV and radio, because remember how easy it was for people to believe when I wish I remember, it was a radio it's a radio program, and on the program they were talking about how aliens came from space, and people, remember, this is a radio, so they're actually believing the DJ saying this was actually going on, and people were getting scared. Remember that story? I forgot who it was and I forgot the name of it, like some, but there was that, and people actually believed it because it was pumped out, because we were MK Ultra'd into believing what's said through this magic box, visual or audio. Yeah, right? So, and we're going along with this. Didn't you watch that program or learn that in history and say to yourself, God, they believe that shit? Well, you understand, yeah, well, we believe in it. Okay, so keep that in mind when it comes to what's being taught. All the fakery, yo. I'm not stopping here. This is just a little something for, a certain group of people. I got a lot more coming up soon. I got the shit I found, yo. I'm gonna go through that. It's a movie. and I'm gonna go through that. We're gonna let's watch that one. That's what we're gonna do, and I'll let you see for yourselves, and you could do the research to correlate what's in that. It was already done for you, but at the same time, do it yourself and see what's going on, and you'll have a clearer understanding of what's up, of what's going on. It's amazing, Phil. That'll be next. But unfortunately, it won't be here. It will be on my Patreon, which I just created because once I started going into things like the selection and the clot shot, I even had a testimony of someone who caught it, someone I knew personally. So it's not to say he was giving his testimony of what he went through, things of that nature. Please get checked if you get sick and things, all that stuff. Nothing against or nothing in the realm of this is conspiracy. None of that stuff. I was just showing what's up because I know I went through it myself. I caught it myself. So it's not to say I'm giving false information. Someone I knew personally, and they dinged that video. And since then my numbers have been dropping, son. So I'm like, okay, what do? If you see my channel, there's like a huge gap in my videos, and that was one of the reasons. Because like, what can I fucking say without them taking it? Nobody can hear me. So I was more focused on like my social media platforms. I was just sharing stuff there. Who's really seeing that? How can people really, it's who you follow, who follows you, and you hope somebody shares, or you hope somebody puts in their story, or or regram or retweet something. And Facebook's no different. So yeah, I created a Patreon. So if you want to see the stuff that I talk about, because I hate having to hold back my words, I hate having to hold back certain things or what I can show. So visit my Patreon. I'll be adding that to the description, and it'll be on all my videos. So for those who may not catch up to this one or just see something random from my old stuff, I'll be there too. So yeah, pledge to my Patreon and support this channel. Allow me to keep on going, because I love doing this. I love spreading the truth. I love giving my opinions on these things. I love hearing from other people, people who go through the same thing, to connect, all these things. I would love to do that and make some bones doing it too, so I can keep going, so I can focus on it, So yeah, so again, for like the Christians out there, the religious, all that, Bible thumpers who like go hard, and want to convert the gay, this and that, all that stuff, you go hard body. But this, you will believe as if it's the big man himself saying it. And damn well it ain't him saying this. They blinded you with science, straight up. You gotta do better, we gotta think for ourselves. Use discernment. Stop being dicks to people who believe differently, because just because they have a different opinion doesn't mean they're different from when you met them the first time. Did they switch up anything else other than reveal to you what they think about a certain topic that makes them completely, somebody that you just shun or hating all of a sudden? You can destroy your reputations like that. You don't know what you're doing to people. I laugh it off because I don't have to get close to people like that. I don't live with other people on my mind. Nobody lives here rent free other than those who I hold dear. Okay. So, and that's another issue. That's something other people need to start considering as well, because they let celebrities live up here rent free. They taking those people's word as law, as if they're the stars. Remember, they're the stars. Remember what stars are falling. Remember that? Okay. I'm gonna I can't wait to break this down, So I'm gonna put up the link, If you don't want to join the Patreon, support the channel. All the avenues of supporting me are there. Like it. That's the biggest support you can give me. Just like the video. Okay, so I can get more eyes on this. So I can keep on going. All right. So yeah. Keep this in consideration, yo. For real. Cause this is funny. I'm like, yo, how could you take this book literally? And you see how the world sees this. You see how not world, but how atheists treat you for even saying you take this stuff literally. Right? But this, you will join them on? Incredible. Do your own research, yo, and definitely rethink your heroes, especially you, because you're not even supposed to have heroes. You, religious, you're not supposed to have no damn hero. No man's supposed to be a deity. So keep that in mind too, yo. Cheers.
First off, God told Isaiah the difference between a ball and a circle when describing the earth. Yah said he created the earth as a circle and stretched it out, and after that, he put a tent over it to keep us from going outside of the firmament. As he sits on top of it, using it as a footstool, this is how he describes the earth. He also said he set the earth on its foundation so it cannot move. A foundation is a flat surface. He says the earth should never be moved, but scientists says that it's moving 1,040 miles per hour. He also talks about the four corners of the earth. A ball does not have corners, but a flat surface do. He created a firmament over the earth, creating anybody from going in or out, which also proves NASA is fake. He also talks about the four corners of the earth. A ball does not have corners, but a flat surface do. As I said, God told Isaiah the difference between a ball and a circle when describing the earth. If y'all don't know, the Hebrew Bible was the first Bible. The word circle can be described as a compass. The word corner can be described as quarter. He says he sets the earth as a compass. This is what he means when he states the corners of the flat earth. He also said he set the earth on its foundation so it cannot move. A foundation is a flat surface. He says the earth should never be moved, but scientists says that it's moving 1,040 miles per hour. There was a time that Yah told the sun to stay still and the moon stayed also, meaning it had to be moving for him to tell them to stay still. God also says he would deal with those who added and took away from his word. There was a verse in the Bible that proved that the earth was flat by saying it was flat. But the New International and King James Version has added and took away from God's actual word. And for those who mock and laugh at my videos and duet, remember they mocked and laughed at Noah too when he built that ark.